Hey there, future me. It's currently a Sunday evening. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, and welcome to November. I guess you'll be able to enjoy this for the next 22 minutes, and then we'll be in December. Yeah, cool. It's November now. Not not for much longer, but hey, there you go. I definitely meant to record an audio a lot sooner, but I guess as usual, just kind of I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm really tired, cycled it all the way until now, and I guess I'm feeling a little bit bad, so I want to at least get an audio in before November ends. So here we are making another. What we're not we are reaching another half-assed milestone. I had a pretty productive day today. I did really just did a lot of chores or just did a bit of a room overhaul, trying to make it a bit more adaptable if we ever have the masses over. I don't really think there's ever going to be more than I don't know, four people in this apartment, but who knows? Maybe if something like that happens, we'll be a bit more prepared this time. I feel like I've been meaning to do this for quite some time, but I finally got my shit together and at least started the move. We're I guess in one of many stages, I suppose. Where I'll not rebuild, but clean, move things around, sort things, and gradually approach the ideal vision that I had a few months ago, but now only have, but finally have the energy to bother to actually, realize it. Anyhow, what's actually happened this November, right? So I finished recording the audio at the top of November, starting on I guess Halloween night, right? Um, what finally finished P5, right? Beat Absolute Radiance. That was pretty epic. It was pretty sick. Um, and then I guess went to sleep afterwards at I don't know 5 6 in the morning. Was kind of riding that high. Went to some post delayed Halloween party, I guess, same day, and watched Game 7 of the World Series. Um, I don't know, I feel like I should be rooting for the Dodgers because U.S. versus Canada and all that stuff, but I don't know. I wouldn't have minded a good underdog story, but that's how it goes. I'm not too much of a baseball guy, anyways, but I guess it's the storylines and all that stuff, right? Um, what else? Bagel popped by into town a bit later, so that was cool. I haven't seen him since January, since the leadership summit. We just kind of hung out, went to one of those park areas, just kind of hung out for a bit. Um, caught up with one of the other undergrad guys who I hadn't talked to in a good probably maybe not a full year, but close to a year. We'll call him Grapes for now. I don't know if he's going to be a recurring character, but there's a stupid reason for that. I wonder if he remembers. I hope I remember correctly. It'd be awkward if I forgot the exact incident. um, but yeah, so that was pretty cool. Went to my first frisbee tournament in quite some time. Didn't do too well. I feel well, I don't have any eligibility, right? But I was still kind of hoping that I wouldn't bot out entirely. I'd run around, score some points, get some D's or something. I caught every pass that got thrown to me, but I threw some real stinkers and I played very few points. I did not have a positive or neutral plus minus. Apparently, I think my greatest contributions were yelling up, calling it on the sideline, and yeah, basically just backseating my entire team and telling some of the new guys who were playing far more points than me and all this stuff. Yeah, yeah, good work, keep it up. Right, so yeah, it was a bit of the morale guy, which is kind of tough. I don't really know if I'm qualified to be giving advice, especially given that whenever I actually do play points, I cause turnovers. um, but yeah, I don't know. I guess some people found it handy, but yeah, it was cool to be out there. Haven't been to a tournament since what senior year of undergrad, right? So yeah, that was cool. I hope to go to a few more of them, but I don't think. Well, if once the spring starts, right, they'll probably have more of those sanctioned tournaments to qualify and build up ranking and all that stuff. And even if I go, I won't be able to play because too old, right? Um, yeah, and then so we went from what Halloween party, see a bunch of different people, into frisbee tournament, into like autumn cookout thing, right? Like you know our grad student org kind of like met up with some other department people, like department grad student orgs, and we were like, hey, it's like morale boosting and also like a good usage of money, free food for the masses. Yeah, sounds good. So we bought a lot of hot dogs, sent out the RSVPs, and made like, I guess we had about like 70 or so hot dogs left over, but we bought like 400 hot dogs total, and like had about, I think when we counted attendance, there was about 150 people over like the four departments. So that was pretty cool. Ignore the fact that I completely fumbled the funding for like scholarship money, and so we had to get a little bit cost effective with it. It actually worked out in the end because I think in previous years we hadn't been like buying things like en masse. And so we were actually, I think we spent less money than we did like the year before, and the year before only had like 90 people. So yeah, shout out to Sam's Club one time. Um, but yeah, I should have done a better job. Forgot to do the financial training that I should have done at the top of the year whenever I registered the club. So bit of a bro moment. We don't talk about that. We will. The budget is intact. It'll be fine. Yeah, that got over the line. It's cool to kind of have that like event happen. Um, Hope that whenever we try to get back together in the spring, it goes well. I guess we're getting back together like in the winter too. But that seems it'll be a bit more feasible, I guess, because that's just going to be one of those like catered events, right? And we're not paying for it. Another department's paying for it. So, yeah, good stuff. Um, what that happened, and then like I started to put together like prototype bobbleheads, right, for like the chill crafts event that we're trying to have like with the undergrads to close out the year. We're gonna be like making some bobbleheads with some like wooden blocks and springs, just some pretty amateur stuff. It's supposed to fit the jank but kind of cute aesthetic. Like it's like something that like your kid brings back home from like school and he's like, "Mom, Dad, I made this," and you're like, it ain't like Michelangelo or anything, but like you could totally put some real effort into that. Give him like a pat on the head and like stick it on the fridge or something. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Got to figure out how to buy springs en masse, which is a pretty well, we got to like buy the right springs, because if you buy ones that are like too tense, then they won't bobble. And if you buy ones that are like too like brittle or not brittle, but like they're too like skinny, I guess, and like it'll just fall over. You won't get the bobble or the head for that matter. It'll just be a guy lying on the ground. It's like a slinky. um, well, yeah, prototyping went well. The undergrad leadership seemed decently happy. Now we just have to buy the materials en masse, do some good job advertising, and iron all those out. That'll happen about a week from now, I guess. So we'll see how. I hope that goes well. Hope that goes well. Because this was kind of like one of those things that like I really wanted to do, and but it's not like we hadn't really done it before, and it's kind of like one of those like I'm calling the shots, like not like as like the president, but more just like me as like the art guy, right? I want to do this because I think it would be fun and cool. If it actually does like you know foster is that the phrase foster community, then cool, sick, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. And if it doesn't, then well, at least we tried, I guess. So yeah, got that, did that. I guess like the week after the autumn cookout was pretty tame. Nothing. It was just kind of working on that, so nothing like super crazy. Like that weekend, like Kino, like well, I guess the fourth member of the Fish Gang, who's finally made his like direct reference in the green verse, as Chair would call it. Um, like cooked up a pretty sick film. Like I guess that per his name suggests, right? Like we watched like Synecdoche, New York. Really reminded me of that time that I watched like Tree of Life with my dad back in like I forget like maybe it was like middle school or high school or something. Like it felt like it was just like such a long film and there were so many ideas like going all over the place, and I could like appreciate it, but like I don't know. I'm mentioning it because like it like it provoked me. Is that the no? It's not the word. Like it compelled me, right? But at the same time, there were like so many things that I felt like could have been like explore it further, or were just kind of like left up in the air, and I was left like scrambling, like figuratively, right? Um, yeah, it was pretty sick movie, sick movie. What else? Then like yeah, Thanksgiving came around, right? Like so we Scout hosted Thanksgiving at his place. This was the first time I guess in one, two, three. Yeah, because like what I had Thanksgiving at my apartment like back in year one, right, where I like cooked up a very unfortunate dish. I think I was trying to make something with like Napa cabbage, and the day came, and I was like, "There's no Napa cabbage," and so I just like improvised like super, yeah, super wildly, and it just like it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't like particularly good either. Like you wouldn't get food poisoning; it was edible, but it's just like, bro, what is this? You know? So I guess out of fear of bungling, right, or like pulling up to the so I guess like Scout's place with like a horrible dish. I just offered to buy like a few small things. So I got like dinner rolls and well, dinner rolls, ice cream, cranberry sauce, which I think I was the only one who actually touched it, which is kind of a brag moment. But hey, you know it's not going to go bad, so we're just going to whip it out like next year. uh, no one's going to question it. If no one else eats it, then I guess I'll have cranberry sauce for the next like two, Thanksgivings. Um, but no, I was feeling, I guess like I was asking him like like what kind of stuff that like they'd already prepared for, what things that other people were bringing, and no one said ham, so I ended up buying like a 6.5 pound ham. Cleared out the oven for the first time and made the ham in the oven. I'd say it turned out all right, but there's a lot of leftovers to go through. I think there's like one, I don't know, like maybe like quarter to half pound of like ham like sitting in the fridge, and everything else has been taken care of. But yeah, these past few days I've been eating pretty good, pretty good. Um, yeah, I feel like that checks off all of the events that have happened over November. So it's been a pretty eventful November, right? A lot of running around, a lot of doing things for the masses in some way or form. There's still a lot of things to do before like the year rounds out. Um, and I feel like I've been I don't think my work life balance has been like particularly great. I feel like there have been a lot of days, especially during like preparing for like the autumn cookout, like realizing that like we bungled realizing that I bungled the financial thing, and then like seeing like, oh, we're gonna have to do like an order which we haven't done before, and then do this like weird like fill out all these forms like we're not committing like fraud and just stealing money from the department and using it on like things that aren't actually for the masses, and so on and so on. Um, there are a lot of days where I just kind of like left my computer like in my office, right, or just like bike back home and then just go to sleep. There were some days where like I would just like get back home, turn the light on just to like pinpoint everything, turn the light back off, and then just like walk around just like in the dark, take a shower and everything, and just go to sleep from there. I think like I forget like which week it was, but there was like one week where I didn't bring my computer back for the whole week. Like it was just in the office for the whole week, and I was I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep on the bed, right? Like I was just sleeping on the long couch because I was like so tired or just like so out of it, where it's like, bro, I don't want to take a shower. I'm going to bed. I'm tired, so I just like pass out on the long couch, and just like do that. So yeah, it's been a pretty. It's not to say that like I don't know. It's like I'm probably making it seem like, oh man, you've been working really hard. No, I haven't been working really hard. I've just been spending a lot of time in the office. A lot of time in the office, like just like loitering or wasting away or something, or just like just derping around or not like fully, not being fully there. Also, sometimes been working, but I guess like it's been kind of strange. Like I went to when I went to like the grocery store to buy groceries and stuff for Thanksgiving. Like that was the first time I'd bought groceries like for real, and like wow, like two and a half, 3 weeks. I've been mooching a lot of yeah, like dining hall swipes off of Rogue. Shout out to Rogue one time. Um, so yeah, which has been pretty good. Also off of like the frisbee guys because they like to have a team dinner when like practice ends. Like so yeah, but I don't like. I feel like in some way that's kind of like enabled me to be a little bit more reckless because thanks to like that I can like stockpile some bananas, right? And I don't have to like I usually feel like I need to go get groceries whenever like I run low on like the fruits, right? But if I can just like cycle them from like the dining hall, then I don't really the pressure. It's not as prevalent. right? So I maybe I shouldn't be as reliant. I guess that's like one of the reasons why I've like decided against buying like a meal plan or anything because I feel like that's a I don't know that'll encourage like worst behavior. I feel like what over like this Thanksgiving break I've been able to recenter and kind of reset in a lot of ways. You know, took care of some things that have been sitting around for a while. I didn't actually fully take care of things, right? Like the full, like, well, it's like the thing where you know the pile of receipts. Well, we sorted them out like a while ago. Well, then we like bundled them up by like what half year, right? So now we just have like four piles of like 6 months each worth of receipts that we'll eventually go through and like do some like bookkeeping for and so like that takes up a lot less space. You know, we completed some stages, I guess, of the room or the living space like overhaul, as I guess mentioned earlier, and like all that stuff, right? So I hope when the year ends, like I won't have any like dirty dishes that have been sitting in the sink for a while. I want to make sure that I come back to I can make rice and eat food and not have to worry about cleaning a bunch of things like by the time the year ends. That'd be good, right? Um, I don't know. It's also just kind of weird to think that like a year ago I was you know balding and you know preparing for candidacy and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. What Ari poked her head in yesterday. Yeah, she came back to see some friends for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So she popped by and said hi to me. It was good to see her. It was a bit of what I guess like I don't know. Like the conversation was a bit strange. I feel like I wish I had like more interesting things to tell her, but yeah, I don't know. It was nice, but I think things are still a little bit funny. More on that later, right? We'll figure that one out in time. Um, but yeah, like there's things to look forward to. Like I guess like it's all been pretty blank. Um, what else? I'm trying to think of other things to mention. I guess I don't really think I have like a good subject matter. It's just kind of been running around and getting rather exhausted, right? There's a lot of tasks to take care of. Um, I guess like on Thanksgiving, you know, like my dad called like while I was like making the ham and like we were just like talking about random things and travel plans. Probably gonna go back and see him, right? And then like go back, crash at Clue's place or well, Clue's parents' place and see the fellas at home. You know, we're just doing that, just like normal stuff like, oh yeah, son, I'm like, you know, thankful for you. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. Glad you're here too, right? So that was like pretty nice. And then like while I was at Scouts, my mom called. It was pretty late at night. And she was just kind of chewing me out for being like a bad son. Um, yeah, I kind of lashed out at her, which isn't that great, especially not in front of you know, the other people for that matter. Then I you know kind of lost my shit a little bit, so that's not great. I think that makes it what 4, 5? Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I think like well, we'll count it as five. I mean, it's like 5 times that I've had a particularly bad time to where I had to you know lose my shit, I guess. So this year, so that's been kind of tough. Let's you know keep that at five, you know, for the time being. But yeah, no, she was just kind of chewing me out for you know being a bad son, not like keeping in touch with her and all that. It's just kind of I don't really have any I don't know, don't really have any I don't really want to, I guess. Like I feel like it's only natural to want to be at more of a distance, right? She's like remarried and doing all that stuff. I don't really want to be too involved. I guess she was and don't get me wrong, I feel like I should be glad that she's like taking care of my things, but in some ways like I feel like I'm owed this after all that she's done. And I guess like and yeah, I know we shouldn't take other people's you know generosity for granted, but at the same time, it's I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones, like you know, I'm doing the thing where I'm dancing around, even though like this is just supposed to. It's hard to speak what's on the mind, not because like I don't want to say things, but just because it's hard to describe. I guess like um what. Okay, here we go. Gather yourself. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Like I feel like, you know, she's the one who initiated all of this. Of course, she wants to walk away, right? And kind of forget about the past. I'm glad that she's sticking around to take care of things, but just because she's doing that doesn't mean that I should just like say, "Oh wow, thank you for being like an archivist. All is forgiven," right? But it's also, I think it's also not great to just like be, rude about it either. But I don't know. I guess like I'd like to think that by giving her the option, if she wants to know how I'm doing, if she asks me things, like I'll answer them, right? It's just that if she doesn't ask me them, then I won't reply. I don't know. I think this is okay now, but maybe, perhaps there's something flawed about this. Another thing that's also kind of frustrating is that like whenever I sit down and ask myself if there's like a reasonable, like, are there any reasonable things that I can ask her to do for us to be like even, right? And I realize that the answer to that is like no. I guess because like I just feel like, oh yeah, undo this action, right, and rewind time like 9 years, and then maybe we're even, right? Because I'll have forgotten about it and it wouldn't have happened. But it just kind of feels like this is one of those things, so like you just can't shake off, right? But at the same time, if there's no like path for reconciliation, then what the hell am I doing, right? Like I don't really want to. I don't know. It's not good to. I have never really thought about cutting off contact with her entirely, just because I feel like I'd like regret it. But at the same time, like I probably should think about like some path of reconciliation. But at the same time, I don't really. With how it is right now, it feels like it's there. There is a hill that I'm willing to die on the hill of like just not forgiving her for what she's done. And that's been, whoops, off the cord there. And that's been, I don't know. I wonder how, what, like, viable this is, right? Like, because, she was, chewing me out and saying, like, oh, what are you going to achieve with this, right? Do you really think, like, you'll get anything done with your life if you spend your entire life, like, not talking to your mother? And it's like, okay, well, for starters, I'm on the phone with you right now, and I'm not the one who's hanging up. You're the one who's hanging up, but go off, queen. Um, so, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I've ever been too good with picking hills to die on. I mean, like, Art kind of got dogged on the other day, like, or well, actually, yeah, on Thanksgiving as well. Art got dogged on in like a friend group that like we're both in, the friend group that I met him in, right? For like what, buying a milkshake from yeah, buying a milkshake from like a fast food place on Thanksgiving. It's I generally wouldn't do that, but I think it's both because like I don't really not want to treat myself in general, and also it's like I don't think it's good to inconvenience people, I guess. But I don't know. Like I'm probably just like overthinking it. But yeah, he was talking about it, and like I was talking to him about it, and I feel like I should have more so just like leveled with him instead of trying to start a fight. I'm not really sure how to describe it too well, but I feel like at that time I picked a bad hill to die on, right? Like I think I was too set on like saying that like yeah, but like buying a milkshake on Thanksgiving is like bad actually. And yeah, like I do think it's like not great and I wouldn't do it, but I think like he was more like what he was just kind of hurt that like you know people who he thought were his friends would like treat him like so unkindly. So I feel like I should have just been like provided him like a bit more, handled it with a bit more grace on my end, right? I apologized like the next day after getting some sleep and being like, man, I was kind of bad. But like I feel like all these things like I don't really, most of the time I don't really have many hills to die on with like other people, right? Like if people make fun of me for goofy things that I do, I just kind of like, oh yeah, haha, you're so right. I just kind of like play along. I don't really like stand my ground on those too often, right? Um, and I guess like it's kind of served me well until it doesn't, right? At some point in time, I realized that like I actually do want to die on these hills, and then it's a bit weird, I guess, turning around because then people don't take it too well because they don't usually see me get all defensive. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hard to think about. Yeah, hills to die on, and some other thing that starts with H. What a lengthy title. But I don't know. Like it's all really just a matter of like being prideful in some way. Like what are you fighting for, really, right? You're fighting for like some ideal or some belief or some you're insisting on something. I don't really gain anything, right, by choosing to like I guess believe that like my mother is wrong for all the things that like for causing the divorce and all that stuff, and deciding that like it's I don't know, I just can't like have a good conversation. Like I don't really want to act as if like I see nothing wrong with like what she did, right? Um, but at the same time, like, is this the hill that you want to die on? What do you actually gain from this? From a material perspective, I gain very little. If anything, maybe if I like kissed up a bit more, like did more schmoozing, right, or played better, I could probably recover more of my things, right, or like have more control over these things. But I, it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. Like I would be disgusted with myself, right? And I guess like that alone somehow manages to outweigh like all of the potential benefits that I could get from, I guess, playing nice, right, and pretending or saying things that I don't really believe. Um, so I guess like, is this the hill that I really want to die on? Like, is this you really want to, live like this? Who's going to be there to, cool, you'll die on this hill, right? But like, this isn't like one of those books where you are the omniscient like narrator guy, right? Like you are the person who dies on the hill, and when you die on the hill, like you're just dead. You're not going to see the aftermath, right, or any of these things. Like that's just how it goes. Like, and I don't know. I guess like I don't really think anyone else is going to be there to like behold this act, right? Like this is simply like my choice, right? Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like letting her words get to me, right, on this whole thing. I'm like, oh yeah, you're a bad son. You really think you can live like this forever? You're gonna have a bad time. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess so. But I feel like it's more caused because I interact with you, and if I could probably remove this issue if I interacted with you less. But um, I don't know. I We'll have to figure that one out, right? Like what things like I really do care about enough to where I'm willing to, I guess, suffer or give up like some, I don't know, material or some like, yeah, some physical benefit, I guess, for simply because I guess I feel compelled to do so. But at the same time, like how much does that matter? Of course, it matters a bit, right? Because if I discard that entirely, then I think I'm just like denying my own self, right? I think it's important to feel and to act off of like what you feel to some degree, um, but also like can only really there's only so much time in the world, right? There's many other things to take care of. There's like events to run for the grad student body. There's undergrads to collab with and to go help. There's frisbee practices to tend to. There's home things to revamp. There's holiday specials to think about. There's YouTube videos to upload. And so, like, eventually, I guess, I don't know, I guess you just kind of want to walk away from it, right? And pretend that it doesn't exist. And I feel like that's how things have been recently, um, being quite busy and all that. It's just that when, I guess, you get the call and you get the text, it just kind of, it pulls you back. And it's kind of tough. It'd just be nice to walk away from it all and pretend that it didn't exist. But every so often it catches up to you, and you're left with the a bad taste in your mouth, at least, right? And I think it's something that can't really want to run away from it, right? If I close my eyes and say like close my eyes and cover my ears, like it'll still be there. So I have to confront it eventually. But as regards to what hill I want to die on, we'll have to figure that one out in time. Well, I guess there, there you go. We did it. We oh it's December now. Congrats, happy December, yippee woohoo. I don't know. Figure that's one of the things I guess that's been on my mind, like for like a video topic. I figure a lot of the other things on like research, math, tricks, and all that stuff that'll certainly arise at some other time. But you know, um, at least we found something to ramble about. All right, future me. I'll see you around. Until next time.